This is Cynthia. This is going to be a bit of trial and error. Uh, my first time using my camera on the PC, but I decided that I wanted to document this journey. A little bit of background, and the journey is going to be my 10-day water fast. A little bit of background. I'm actually 50 plus. And a month before my 50th birthday, I'm actually 54. A month before my 50th birthday in 2013, I showed up for my annual physical. And I got on the scale first thing in the morning, no water, no coffee, no food. So this was like my weight. And the scale at the doctor's office, sans clothes, the scale at the doctor's office read 209 pounds. Was a relative shock to me. Throughout college and grad school, I maintained a weight that I would call 130-ish, going between 128 and 133 pounds. Pretty active, ate what students eat, I guess. 10 years post-grad school, out in the world, working, doing lots of traveling, eating well. I've introduced now liquor to my diet. I found that I put on 10 pounds out of school. So roughly a pound a year. And that put me at 140-ish, going between 138 and 143 pounds. But still fairly active, working out regularly. Fast forward to right before my 40th birthday. Unfortunately, and I'm taping this right before Mother's Day, my mother passed. And, started eating more, drinking more, still partying and hanging out quite a bit, and discovered that I'd, several years later, that I put on a fair amount of weight, topping out at what I will call 160-ish. And I pretty much stayed at that weight, for about 5 years. So between 45, I'm going between 158 and 163 pounds. And then I got married. I got married, was in that relationship for over 7 years, and was married the month before my 50th birthday, when I showed up at the doctor's office and got on the scale and discovered that I now weighed 209 pounds. And you have to understand, I never been one to weigh myself often, so that was a bit of a shocker. It was, yeah. Um, uh, you know, I do an annual physical, and if my memory serves me correctly, I had put on probably 20 pounds since the previous physical. And let me tell you, you know, going from 160 to the 180s is an eye opener, but getting on the scale and finding out that not only are you over 200 pounds, but you're kissing 210 is a shocker. I, you know, this is a month before my birthday, and I, you know, just go on a bit of a tear. And for, you know, 6 weeks before my birthday, I was in New Orleans. I was eating and drinking like a maniac. And it wasn't celebratory. It was like, what the have I gotten myself into? There are no pictures of me in New Orleans for my 50th. Pictures of my spouse, but no pictures of me. And you know, got back home, and for 2 weeks, you know, part of it is just shock. So, you know, I finally have like an epiphany. You know, that 6 week point post getting on the scale and discovering that at that point I weighed 209 pounds. Today I'm confident, since at that time that I'm well over 210, because, you know, I've had to go and buy a pair of XXL sweats to get into, because I honestly couldn't get into anything else. And fortunately for me, at that time, I was self-employed. So I didn't have an office that I had to go into daily and, you know, be in the monkey suit, you know, etc. And that was probably a bad thing, because it allowed for my weight to, my massive weight gain to go unnoticed by me. But, you know, now at the 6 week point post the wake up call, you know, of the weigh-in, and I have an epiphany. And the epiphany is that I'm obviously not happy with where my life is. You know, the weight is, you know, the weight gain is symptomatic of not being happy. And you know, and I told myself, you have to figure out what needs to change in order for you to be happy, and an evidence of your being in a better space is that you will lose this weight. You will go back to working out 5+ times a week, you know, as I had done, you know, for the first 3+ decades of my life. You know, go back to eating meals, you know, reasonably proportioned, and you won't drink. and you'll stop drinking so much because at the end of the day, you were never a big drinker, and it's not something that you particularly enjoy. So that should be one of the first things that you're able to give up. And it went beyond that. It meant acknowledging that the work that I was doing hadn't and was likely not going to pan out. And so I had to find something else to do, to make money and support myself, which has been challenging. And, I also had the realization that I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy in my marriage. So, my 50th year on the planet, I did a number of things. In addition to really winding up the business that I was involved in at that time, I also got divorced. And I lost 40 pounds. Between the middle of April and culminating in a trek to high camp in Argentina on Mount Aconcagua, when I got down and returned home, I got on the scale, and I was 168-ish pounds. So let's just call it, now I'm in the 170-ish range, weight going between 168, 172, 173. And that was the end of 2013. So fast forward to today. I'm 54. It's the middle of May 2017, and this is day one of my water fast. So I got on the scale before I started drinking water. And I weighed 167 pounds. Now, this is significant for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's been 3.5 years since I took off the 40 pounds in 8 months. Most pundits will say that after 2 years, you'll start to put the weight back on. I live in the city, so these are sounds of the city. Pundits will say that after 2 years, you start putting the weight back on. That has not been the case for me. I started to, again, go back to working out. Again, five-ish times a week, jogging, hiking, intermittently doing hot yoga, Bikram. Just cut down on the food portions, wasn't eating 6 times plus a day. And what I found was that instead of losing more weight, I basically plateaued at this 170-ish weight. Definitely since 2013, I have more muscle than sort of like fat and flab. We'll get to that in a minute. But interestingly enough, I've not lost weight, and I've not dieted to lose weight. Because for me, first and foremost was just to be healthy and live and lead a healthy lifestyle. And so for me, that means working out regularly, eating moderately, drinking occasionally, and in other areas of my life, just minimizing the drama. And the result has been that I'm healthier. Clearly, the 40-pound plus is history for me. And, and so that brings us to today. It brings us to today and the series of videos that I will take over the next 10 days documenting my water fast experience. And then maybe something in like 3 or 6 months or 12 months as a checkup. I am happy with my health, but as I get older, I want to carry less weight. It's the bottom line. I want to carry less weight. For the first 30 some odd years of my life, I was in the 130s. I'm now, let's call it 130-ish. But, now I'm 170-ish. That's still a 40-pound difference. And I know what 40 pounds, what that is to my body and my frame. Because I, took off 40 pounds, going from 210 to 170. And and that was life-saving. I would say life-changing, but just life-saving. And so now I find myself, as I get older, wanting to take off and feeling like I need to take off more weight. And I know that eating well and working out is not going to do that for me, because that is currently where I am, and I am at 170, pretty much plateaued at 170. So I've conducted a lot of research, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and trying to figure out how I want to tackle taking off 10, to potentially 20 pounds, and decided on the water fast. Understand that this isn't for everyone. This is just the diet that I have decided to pursue for me. And it really has to do with the benefits. Given my current lifestyle, my current ability to be able to do this for 10 days. So given my current lifestyle, but also my objectives, this best suited, I feel, best suits my needs. Now, what do I hope to achieve? And why the water fast? Firstly, I currently consume a lot of water. I'm a water drinker. I actually enjoy, when it comes to beverages, I enjoy water. I find that sometimes when I'm hungry, a little off kilter, if I just drink water, it makes me feel better. And so, where some people will want to go to like a fruit fast, or a juice fast, or I don't know, a meat fast, or I knew that water would be a key part of my diet, and who knew that there were water fasts. The other piece goes with the benefits of a water fast. It's detoxing. It helps you to rid yourself of excess water, then of glucose stores in your muscles, etc., of which you'll see I'm just bulky. I'm naturally muscular, and be interesting to see if I can lean that out. And then it attacks. It starts to burn fat in the body, of which 40 pounds heavier than I was when I was younger. So there's obviously still enough of that hanging around. And then it's interesting. Your body then starts using for fuel all the other things that are in your body that it feels it doesn't need. It's not essential for survival. And that includes bacteria, good and bad. I'm widely traveled, so I can just imagine the stuff that's hanging around there. Viruses, scar tissue, of which I have plenty, and other things that can cause inflammation within the body. And I'm older. I have shoulder, hip, lower back. I have issues, and knowing that I could pursue a diet that could help decrystallize the stuff that gets between the joints as you get older, that I could start to flush some of that out, is enormously appealing to me. It's been known to absorb and use tumors for food and other growths. So I don't know if all of that can be achieved in 10 days, but I want to rid myself of whatever is in there that I don't know about, that my body in its infinite wisdom decides I don't need. I'm good with that, particularly at this age. And my hope is that I will introduce and embrace fasting going forward to maintain the bettered health condition I hope to find myself in post fast. Some people do a day of fasting each week, with a 3-day fast once a month, and a 7 to 10 day fast once a quarter. I don't know if that is the fasting regimen that I will ultimately adopt. But my goal is to introduce and embrace fasting as a part of my lifestyle going forward. And I think I will probably need to do that to maintain whatever weight loss I'm able to achieve. And I say weight loss because I know that I'm also going to lose weight via the loss of water. And it's not my expectation that that water loss would be permanent. Because post this, I will go back to, eating moderately, drinking occasionally, and living the best health that I can aspire to live. So, day one of my water fast, weighed in this morning at 167 pounds. To give some indication of what that is for me, I'm 5'8". Again, I'm 54. We're gonna get up, and you can get a look at the body. It's my backpack. And this is pretty much my yoga uniform. I'm headed to yoga in a minute, and we'll talk about that. But this is what I look like. And if you can see, again, I'm not. I'm a chunky monkey, but I'm not like fat. So it's not like I'm looking to, I have lower back issues. I don't really have jiggly, a lot of jiggliness going on, but because I do work out, but you can take got a little look-see. But I know that there is, I again look well in my clothes. I don't really have a pot belly. But this is what I look like. Back up a little. Get a slightly better picture of things. So, again, I'm not, cut. Although I think that we'll find that more of my muscle underneath the body will be revealed. And I don't think I'm going to do another unveiling until day 10. So, this is my plan. I'm going to do water, diet, and that will involve tap water, that I'll use for a tea, add a little bit of apple cider vinegar to that for taste. Distilled water for my workouts. I've been told that distilled water, because it's empty water, it doesn't have like the trace minerals, etc. With the apple cider vinegar that's in my system will help maximize what the water grabs and is able to carry out of my system. Sparkling water. I have crazy allergies, and sometimes when you get that tickling, only hot water and like sparkling water does the trick. Distilled water, it doesn't really do it. I'm not using sparkling water. Actually, I do have sparkling water in the house. I have some on my nightstand, so when I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm thirsty, that's what I'll be drinking. But largely it's water. Hot water, distilled water, sparkling water, and what am I missing? Spring water. Spring water is what I have at my bedside. It's spring water. So water, and more water. And for working out, a lot of people recommend that you just sit around the house when you're on a water fast, because you'll be low energy. I'll be doing a lot of that over the next 10 days. And that's the chief reason why now is the time for me to do it, because I can, for the next 2 weeks, be around the house. But I will also be continuing my Bikram practice. I had been away from Bikram yoga, which is hot yoga, for a while, but in January decided to get back to the practice. And it's interesting because over the last 4.5 months, I practice 4+ times a week. And, I went from, about 172, so 170-ish, to the 167. So, it's, interestingly enough, not resulted in any sort of massive weight loss, because during that time I've also, jogged and swam regularly. But since I have been doing Bikram yoga, hot yoga, for the past 4.5 months, in addition to other physical activity, I have decided to try to do Bikram every day of my fast. So every day for the next 10 days, my plan is to attend, for most of those days, a regular 90-minute Bikram yoga class. And that is where I will be heading to shortly, and why I have the knapsack hanging up there. I don't want my body to forget about how I use my body while I'm on the fast. I think that's the key thing. I want my body to realize that I still want to and need to stretch, flush my muscles, use my muscles, balance, for balancing, etc. I don't want to lose any of that over the next 10 days. I can lose mass, but not functionality. And it's hot yoga. I drink incessantly, more than I probably should, during the practice, because I sweat a lot as well. And so I also believe it's a complementary exercise to my water fast, so like a detox situation going on here. So that's what's happening, folks. Day one, 167. Day one start, 167 pounds, water fast, with Bikram yoga for 10 days. And I'll have a much shorter update tomorrow.